Yeah, man. H.O., man. HandzOn, man. Also the humble one. You got me right now. We don't got those TV. Everything helped you, man. I want to just give a big shout out to everybody that matters, all those that's worthy of a shout out. And most importantly, sleep in peace to my good brother, HandzOn. What's going on, beloved?
Oh man, H-Show, what's popping, bro? It's good to hear you. Yo,
That's likewise, man.
you're almost home. I had the pleasure to bid with you. You know what I'm saying? We bid it together, and we went through the trenches together while we was up north. And you one of them brothers. You an intellectual. Not only you a gangster, you an intellectual. And I just want to start off with the interview with talking about the felony fund. You the only brother I know, period, that started his own non-for-profit. And now being a felon, right? A predicate felon, I take interest into that because a lot of us need help. And when it comes down to the legal side of things, a lot of us are very ignorant to the law, like I was, and still am. And we don't have representation, especially as minorities, colored people, whether you black, Spanish, Asian, all of us fall victim to this system because we ignorance. You know what I'm saying? The system wasn't built for us. So please tell me about your non-for-profit and why'd you start it?
Alright, well, the Felony Fund. The Felony Fund is kind of special how it came together because initially I was working on an LLC with another good brother. He's a part of the family, and in one of our building brainstorming, like little get-togethers, he said, everybody want to start things and be rappers and come out with clothing lines, but nobody wants to do the research. And one of his prime examples was a not-for-profit corporation. So I'm listening to him, and I'm like, yo, the brother making some sense. So he's like, yeah, everybody want to start something, don't do the research. So one day I'm sitting there, I do the research on a nonprofit. And instantly, the Felony Fund pops into my name. And it's magical because at the same token, I'm incarcerated on a 7.5 year bid. I caught a new bid, 1.5 to 3 to add to that. And I'm like, there's nothing in the town, there's nothing in the free world that's for felons. They have programs. I can name nonprofits, and I won't stop talking for a year straight, but none of them specifically you can identify with a felon as far as the system and why they locked up and physically helping them with the transition back into society.
Right.
So I caught a new charge 2016. I was ignorant. I went to court. They got over on me. I didn't know nothing. But one thing I didn't do, I didn't waive my right to appeal. I started learning. I started going to law library. I'm in there heavy. I'm meeting good brothers. I'm making a world tour in the process. And I started learning the law. The law is fulfilling. Because once you know what they're not supposed to do, it's like now you got this barrier around you. You know what I'm saying? So I went on the internet, found out a few things, and I'm like, yo, I want to take this to the next level, and I wanted to incorporate it. It popped off, and I got a couple of employees. We got a website, and basically the Felony Fund is a not-for-profit corporation that seeks charitable donations to establish and help and sustain a sense of humility for people that's incarcerated and those thereafter. Like our main goal is to, attack the problem of recidivism. I am anti-recidivism. I'm not with the coming back to jail shit. I understand shit happens, but once we in here, I'm only dealing with people that I feel like is really finished with coming to jail. Like, and while you in here, we gonna hold you down.
That's amazing, yo. That's a. I don't even have to ask you what your mission statement is because you kind of answered that already. That's amazing. Like I said, it touched home so close, and I know you can relate because you just said, going through the process, going through the legal system, you hopeless. We don't learn this shit in school.
Right.
And Yeah, a lot of us brothers need that because imagine how many people wouldn't catch a felony if you had the felony fund. You know,
Right.
you could get spared from a felony. You know, knowing if you know if you know your case and you know what to fight and what not to fight.
You
You
won't,
know,
yeah, you won't suffer.
now now as far as now you did mention music. What projects do you got out right now, and how can I find them?
Well, I've been incarcerated consecutively since 2013, 2014. So I got 3 projects out. And my last project was 2014. The first project, it was hosted by DJ Lazy K. It's called Sight Billy. It's UFO Game, Mixtape Volume 1. And it's a tribute to my brother Sight Billy. We put that out, me and my cousin, his name is P. Slim. He's from Tallahassee, Florida. We dropped that 2012. Following that, later on that year, we put out another mixtape. This time it was hosted by DJ Robbie Rob. It's called Straight Success. I caught the case. And I sat it for maybe 7.5 months. I bailed out. Upon being released, I put out the Billy Talk Part 1. Now, the Billy Talk Part 1, that's also hosted by Robbie Rob. And that's my solo joint right there. You can find this on any major media platform that was out prior to 2013, 2014. Live Mixtape, Dat Piff, Hot New Hip Hop, SoundCloud, ReverbNation.com. I mean, anywhere, YouTube, any site that was relevant around the times when I was out there before, you could find those tapes.
I ain't gonna lie, I got the pleasure to listen to Billy Talk front to back, and that shit was fire, man. You had something going.
Yeah, man.
You had something going. You had a lot of the Coke Boys on there. It felt like not the I know rappers don't like being compared to, but it felt like you belonged in that circle, like that Coke wave circle. Like the Mac and Cheese came out, French and Matt's, the Coke Boys was out. It felt like your style at that time, it fit, for that wave.
Right.
And it was very, and it was.
Yeah, I'm pro New York.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Not saying that I'm anti anywhere else, but I'm pro New York in the sense of hip hop when it comes to music. Like you won't hear me really talking no bullshit, and I'm gonna take that on forever. Like I'm not. I like a lot of the out of town artists, specifically down south. A lot of people from the West Coast, but if I can't understand it, I can't bump it, and I'm not going to spit some shit you can't understand either. At the same token.
Now, going back to the incarceration part and being back locked up together, not only was I harassed on a daily basis, you was really harassed on a daily basis. You was like public enemy number 1 when it came down to being in Governor Correctional Facility. I feel like a lot of it had to do with racism. Break that down. Why do you think you was being targeted in such a manner?
All right, so 2013, June 1st, I'm incarcerated. Now, from June 1st up until, let's just say, right before I got the Governor Correctional Facility, which was September 2019, I was actually being praised. They were intrigued because I was running around engaging in all activity that's counterproductive, and we all know what type of time we're doing. But it happens. I don't regret it. I actually had fun. In the midst of that, I got caught a new charge. So in the midst of that, I accepted a new charge, and they sat me down, and I learned, and I had to figure this thing out. So I make it to Governor. Now when I make it to Governor, I'm actually kind of far with the law. I'm in the law live every 5 days a week, maybe 6 days a week. I'm getting my body right, my mind right. And I started this nonprofit called the Felony Fund. It's incorporated. So now in Governor, they looking at me like a uppity Negro, like in their minds like this nigga can't be doing. Who the fuck does this nigga think he is? Literally.
Mm-hmm.
They pulled me down about it. I got the dreads. They pulled me down about it. They calling me Huey P. Newman. They calling me everybody name that's respectable and they don't want you to be anything. They want you to just become a couch fellow. They want you to just be in the queue and do nothing. I refuse to do that. My purpose in prison, after I played around and had fun, was to get something out of it, learn something. I'm edified, self-edified, and I edify the people around me. I have influence. And Governor, if I was using my influence to wreak havoc, they'd have been smiling. Instead, I use my influence to teach motherfuckers, enlighten motherfuckers, to engage in philosophies on everything, on major levels. And I got the opportunity to meet brothers that can match my fly when it comes to intellectual conversations and bright ideas. So you know what they do? Willie Lynch syndrome. You know, they wanna harass you, they wanna run in your queue, take your paper. They confiscated all startup documents related to the felony fund.
Which is illegal.
They don't know. Yeah, which is illegal because it's a corporation, it's a legal entity. It's filed with the Department of State. Mm-hmm. But I laughed at it because everything on those papers, it came from my creative thought process. And everything still flourished to this day. I mean, how many people you know is incarcerated and started a nonprofit? Why they incarcerated? I actually pay people to do things for me. I have employees. I'm the president of this corporation, and they just hate it. I mean, I can't relate to how they think. I just know naturally that that's how they are up there with, you know, in them parts of the state. But I had a hard time. That was the worst experience for me out of the 7 years I've been incarcerated was in Governor.
These people are so racist. Like, explain some of the harassment tactics they used on you. Like, you know, and you know, like, be specific with words, like things that they would say to you. Because I know what they used to say to me and shit like that. And it was extremely racist. It was really bad. And it's like they would, for me, it felt like they were enticing you for you to do something to catch a charge.
Yeah, they used to, man. I remember one day I was coming through, man. No, matter of fact, they stopped me and they were trying to explain to me that my locks wasn't locked. So I'll go back and forth with them. I'll get political with them. I'll start pulling out directives. I used to have to worry. I used to have to walk around with a directive in my pocket. So I go down there into the sergeant office, and they was basically trying to tell me that, you know, I'm not black. Why do I have black? I'm like, first and foremost, you see my name and you just think European. No, I'm of African descent. Mm-hmm. And they was like, only black people got dreads. They was like, well, you gotta cut it. If you don't cut it, you're going to the box. So everybody up there in Governor, if you got dreads or something, they're gonna harass you. They're gonna try to make you cut your hair. They despise my culture. They hate it.
Right.
They used to run in they used to come to the door and pull me between the door. You know, harass me, throw me on the wall. They wanna strip search you all day. I wanted to box him, saying, they wanna handcuff you and beat the shit out of you. Talk this, you a nigga shit, fuck out, I'll kill you, nigga. Like, they just, I'ma just say they special. They diabolical, but they definitely special up there. Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's like, some of that shit is just hard to, I try to laugh about it now. Going through that shit at the time, it ain't funny.
Nah, it ain't funny. And is extremely against our human rights. You know, even as a prisoner, and they get away with it with so much shit because they got no cameras. There's no cameras. I remember discussing ideas with you one day, and you told me this was your exact words. One of your goals is for them to put cameras in the box and on these facilities, and I thought that was like one of the dopest ideas I've ever heard.
Because this is what they do. They play on the fact that we're all trying to go home. We're in these mediums at this point, and everybody, somewhat short. So what they do is they just play on that. But in those shoes, which is a box, like, once you're down there, it's a dungeon. They starve you. Once you get in there, they just jump on you like they jump on you like you're a wild animal or something. They keep going and going and going and going, maybe until they get tired. And it's just disgusting because they've been doing the same, they've been engaging in those same activities for years. That's how bad it is. And this is every facility I've been in. They do the same thing. Governor just sticks out because they did it the best. And they need cameras in all these facilities. At the end of the day, God bless, rest in peace to George Floyd, Andre Brown, and many others. I mean, it's a long list, and it's Dante Wright. These are the most recent ones. But it's disgusting because at the end of the day, we're going through the same thing on a smaller scale in the New York State prison system. People get killed in here and they say they high on K2. No. They stomped him out, they broke his neck, and that's what happened to him. And they do it, and the scariest thing about it is that they do it with it's regularity for them. Like
it's part of their protocol.
Right. It's contrary to regulation policy, obviously. No reasonable person conducts themselves in that manner. And I wrote a memoir maybe like a year or two ago related to correctional experiences. And in that memoir I said, when an inmate has to no longer fear of what another inmate has to do, and their main concern and fear relates to staff, we're in a dark place because you are being held to the highest standard as a correctional officer, as civil service. So why is it that you in here breaking the same laws that we're being confined for?
Right.
There's no oversight. There's no checks and balances. They all know each other. They're related.
And they all cover for each other as well.
Right.
That's a fact.
You know what people call me? People call me, when people see me, they put their fists up in the air. Colin Kaepernick. When they see me coming through, they call me names of great leaders. Great leaders, not fake leaders, great leaders. So leaders that made a change, whether it be non-violent or violent. And to me, I appreciate it because at the end of the day, somebody got to do it.
Bro, no lie, man. It's from the bottom of my heart. You are an inspiring brother, man. And I say brother as in my brother.
Right.
Every day that we was in that mess, you kept a positive attitude, bro. We worked out, we cooked, we ate. We was living the best as we could, the best we could in those circumstances. And a lot of it had to do with the attitude you had every day. And that was really dope. Now, moving forward, being that, we already touched on the music, we touched on the harassment, what's going on in these facilities in New York. You brought up SI a lot. And I want you to touch a little bit on SI, like maybe a fond memory you have, something that you wanted to discuss, or anything that you just want to touch on SI. May God bless the dead.
Okay, SI, right? SI is he's a legend to me. He's a legend to a lot of other people. But first and foremost, I wanted to say rest in peace to him, man. His name is Garland S.I. Tyree. He's from the borough of Staten Island, the city of New York. And special person to me. At the end of the day, S.I. was my fraternity's leader. And what a great leader he was. S.I. wound up doing probably well over 17 years in both state and federal prisons for various alleged crimes. And while he was incarcerated, he authored 2 novels, one called The Treyway and the other one called Omar's Redemption. Unfortunately, in September of 2015, he got into a standoff with local authorities. And he always told the brothers, I'm not going back to jail. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Most people say that shit, and when they come get you, you want to get in the handcuffs and you go back to jail. S.I. was a strong brother, and he meant what he said. and he had a standoff with the police. And when he finally decided to come out, he came out busting, and they bust back and they wound up killing him. And that was that was the last time. But the way I met SI was just definitely just like one of my greatest memories, because he's a person that I've been dying to meet. I just hear the name but never had a name to put, never had a face to put with the name. I'm in Staten Island one day. I'm looking for some weed. I'm just riding around looking for some weed. I know he's in the street. I just can't find him. I run into a person, and he's like, "Yeah, yo, SI told me this, that, and the third." I'm like, "What? What you talking about?" I'm like, "Yo, man, call SI right now if he really told you that." He couldn't get him on the phone. I spins off. I'm looking for weed later on that day. I see a man standing there, man, and his energy is so strong that just the first thought of my mind, I'm like, "Yo, that gotta be that man right there." You know what I mean? So I get out the car, pull up on the kid I knew. I'm looking at the brother, and I said,
"You have 1 minute left."
He said his name, and that's how as soon as he said his name, I just hugged him naturally. Naturally, just hugged him, and we wound up linking up later on that day. He actually became a very, very good friend of mine. It was just amazing for me. That was like meeting Barack Obama for me.
Right. That was one of your idols at the time.
Yeah, it was definitely it was like meeting Obama. Yo, do you want me to call right back?
You can call right back. Whatever you want to do, my brother. I love you. So we could.
I'm about to chop it. I'm gonna call you right back.
I bet.
The caller has hung up.